branch. And we call those widow makers because they'll cast their branches and they'll just land like spears into the woods. I cannot stay out of the woods on windy days. Most of the other interpreters won't come in. I haven't been traumatized enough yet, but it sounds like if you've ever been to the docks with wooden boats that they're just doing that squeaky, or they sound like whales. Like, I just love it. I do have a YouTube channel, Dark Water Hermit, and I've just been filming stuff like that since I used to be a philosophy professor, but this is my new classroom, and so since I moved up here, I'm doing like nature videos. And when a tree gets distressed or drought or something, it will often put these up. And in some cases, what will happen is the central mother tree will die, and those fairies will turn into mature trees. And as that center trunk rots away and those mature, they'll actually join, so you'll have connected trees all the way around like in a circle, and you can just go in and lay and see sky above you. And this is my favorite feature. But this is how most redwoods propagate, is through these fairies. Very few propagate via seeds. And you can pass this around. This is a redwood cone. Look how tiny. It's like the size of an olive. Oh, there's a magnifier. And the seeds are only like tomato seed size. But you can imagine that little seed falls down into this duff. Look at how thick this is. Mm-hmm. So by the time the root's getting down to where the soil is, it's probably going to dry up. And so there's very little, only 2% come from seeds. And all of these fairies are that tree. They're clones. So if you genetically tested this, it would be the same as that. And that's part of why it's so hard to date these trees, because if we did a tree ring dating of this, I'm just spitballing, maybe that's 10 years old, but you have to remember, this could be an 800-year-old tree, so it's actually 800 years old. But that could be a clone of another mother we can't see anymore, so it could be thousands of years old. Supposedly they go all the way back to the dinosaurs, that these genetic lines have continued. Wow. So that's this year's, last year's, the year before. But look at that, these are like scaly, and we've just recently found that they can drink water out of those needles. Up to 40% of the water the tree is getting is coming from the clouds, and the rest is coming from the roots. And they're also male-female. Those will get male cones off the end producing pollen, and then the female branches will produce wherever that cone is. I was passing around. Trunk, but see how these baby trees are growing out of it? So that's what we call a nurse tree. Even though it's dead, it's still providing. And I've been in forests where there's like a row of straight mature trees, and you're like, why are the trees in a row? But it's because they grew on one of these nursery logs. And they even act almost like reservoirs. In the winter, they'll soak up a lot of water, and then the plants can tap into that during the summer.